Okay, so I'm here to talk about automating the runs of your Power Automate desktop flows. So, from what you can find online, people will tell you how to do it, how to trigger a desktop Power Automate flow automatically on a schedule using a cloud flow that then triggers Power Automate desktop, which is sort of buggy, it's kind of hard to set up, or to use the Windows Task Scheduler, which also is problematic. In my experience, it doesn't work super well. It doesn't work on Windows 11 or Windows 10 home products. You have to edit registry entries in order to get it to work properly. And it's just not a very robust tool for doing automation that you can trust. So I'm going to show you a different way that's a lot easier on a Windows PC or on a VM running in the cloud, whatever you want. So Power Automate open here, and I have this automation run that searches for business class tickets. Okay, so I'll just run it just to show you what it does. Okay, doesn't matter what the flow is, it's irrelevant. And so what we're going to use is a Linux tool in order to automate this in a more platform agnostic and a lot simpler manner. Especially if you know a little bit about Linux and running cron jobs, that's what we're going to use. And so the first step is to install the Windows subsystem for Linux, which a lot of you, if you're doing automation tasks, you likely already have this installed on your computer, okay? And so it's very simple what I'm going to show you, but it's going to make your life a lot easier, presuming that you have the tools installed, okay? So that was the run, okay? You can see this goes to American Airlines, checks for flights, okay? What you're going to do here is go to the properties, go to the details, and you'll see the flow ID and the run URL. So you copy the run URL, okay, great. Open up terminal. Go to Windows Subsystem. And so I'm not going to get into a huge deep dive into how cron jobs work, but basically we're just going to use the cron system that already exists inside of all Linux machines, and we're going to schedule things that way. So a heck of a lot easier than using the Windows native task scheduler. Let's see here. So I've already set this up to use, well, let me change something real quick. Okay, so we had our flow run ID, remember, from here, and the run URL. And so you're just going to go and do your cron tab editing. And you'll see here, I have one comment without, but here's the other one. So this is going to be, typically this will be your path using WSL to your Power Automate executable, and then you just pass the flow run. So if we wanted to make another one that runs every minute, so that's the flow. It's the same here, and then you just pass in the path to the executable, which is essentially what I have already going. So if I close this, now it'll run every minute. And you can see that all it's doing is calling the executable and passing in the argument of the flow. And so you could do this through, you could call this from Python, you could call this from any sort of programming language you want. You just run it as a command line instruction, and so you can see I just triggered it. I'll stop it from running, because we'll see in a minute or so it's going to run by itself. Oh, that's it. So this is the one that is running by itself, triggered from the cron job. And this will just run, and we can stop it. Wait another minute. Yeah, so here I was adjusting the cron editor to make VS Code a little simpler to see editing a cron file. So again, you go here, you get the run URL, you use that as the argument. Okay, now it's running again. And so it's just a lot more flexible to know how to call, trigger a flow using the command line, because then you can use it in any sort of scripting tool that you want. You can schedule it using cron, which is much more powerful, and it's a heck of a lot easier to work with. So you just get that flow ID and you pass it as an argument to the Power Automate executable, and it will trigger automatically. And so usually, like I mentioned before, the executable is going to be located here. It's that pad.console.host.exe. That's what you pass this argument into. And make sure that you do the quotes properly, because there's a lot of instructions out there that are legacy instructions of how you have to call this using command, how you have to use bash and whatnot. No, you just get into WSL and call it directly from where it's located on the C mount. So yeah, hopefully that helps some of you guys. My experience using the task scheduler, the Windows task scheduler, is very buggy, error prone, hard to get working, doesn't work on all installations of Windows. So do it this way, you'll save yourself a lot of headache. And just keep WSL running and it should run fine.